guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So I've got another Pagani Design in. This is the PD-1723. This is a sort of retro Air King homage, but the thing is that regardless of that, the reason I got it in is it just looks really nice. They've got a white dial or black dial. I've gone for the yellow dial, and I'll explain why. The main reason really being is that I don't really have any yellow dial watches. They are quite rare in comparison to white and black, so I wanted to get something a little bit different. This is a first for Pagani Design in the sense that this is the first watch they've produced that is running a high beat movement. So this is the PT-5000 movement. Really cool movement. It's a clone of the ETA 2824 and the Salita. Really nice movement. I've never had one that doesn't run it doesn't run any more or plus or minus 5 seconds. The ones I've got in. Does this one come in similar? I'll let you know as we go through the video. I'll let you know some information. We'll bring up the movement information through the video. But this one looks very nice. One I wanted to bring to your attention. I put a post up because I forgot to put it into my top 20 video. I probably would have made it a top 21, obviously. But yeah, I forgot, so I put a post up. So I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you like the watch. Thanks for tuning back in. And with that being said, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys and girls, so this is the watch. As you can see, quite different packaging to what you normally get on these Pagani Design watches. Outer cardboard sleeve, inside, yeah, not a bad box to come in. Quite unusual in terms of how it looks and feels. Faux leather type going on. They did give sort of like a Marine Nationale style strap with it. I probably would have left it out, but they gave it anyway. Cleaning cloth, which is what they normally come with as well. Up at the top you can see they give me a screwdriver, a guarantee card and all that good stuff. Hang tag's been taken off. I have been wearing this now for a good few days, a week, probably a bit more. 3 links taken out for it to fit my wrist. And inside again, really nice, nice packaging actually. Am I too bothered about the packaging? Not really. I'd rather save a few quid and then just give it in the basic packaging. But it's nice. It's nice to see they've made an effort, given this is one of their probably most premium watches that they've made. And then what you're left with is this watch. They do have a couple of other variations, like their black dial and the white dial. I'll leave that up now. But I wanted to go for this one, the gold dial, just because I've not really reviewed many gold dial watches. So I thought, let me have a little look at this. It might have little marks on it because, like I said, I've been wearing it for a little while now, just to get a good feel for it. But yeah, this is the watch. It's the PD-1723. They're calling it their retro Rolex Air King homage. Definitely a few design cues taken, no doubt. But let's see if it's all good or it's partly good or all bad. Let's have a look. The movement inside, as you'll see on the dial, it's got, let me just undo the crown. It's got PT-5000 written on the dial. I don't think they needed to write it on the dial, but they've done it anyway. Let me just pop it there just for a moment so you can look at the dial. Yeah, so it's got a PT-5000 movement running inside. High beat movement, a clone of the ETA 2824, so therefore a clone of the SW200 also. Never had any issues with this movement at all. Always ran bang on whenever I've had it in my watches. It's always ran sort of minus or plus 5 seconds a day, which has been pretty phenomenal. This one's coming in about 4 seconds a day, so again, very consistent, good movement. The construction of the watch, stainless steel, so aside from the quite pronounced domed sapphire crystal, is all 316L stainless steel, and mixture of brushing and polishing throughout. So that's the high polished bezel that comes on the watch, the case, which is brushed on the top, polished at the sides, the crown, which is also screwed down. It's got a screwed down case back, again mixture of brushing and polishing on there as well. You've got the bracelet, which does taper, we'll talk about in a moment, brushed on the tops, polished at the sides, and the partly milled clasp is brushed with polishing on the sides also. So yeah, lots of mixture of brushing and polishing throughout the watch, and as I say, 316L stainless steel. The case thickness of this watch is 12.6 millimeters. I think you're going to find a big part of that attributed to the crystal given it's quite a bit of dome sapphire crystal, so 12.6 millimeters. The case diameter I measure from the 8 to the 2, excluding the crown, it's coming in at 37.2 millimeters. And when you go from 9 to the 3, including the crown when it's screwed up, it's coming in at 40.2 millimeters. The lug width on this is 20. That does taper down to 16 and back up to 18 mil at that partly mill clasp. And the lug to lug, tip to tip, as I mentioned a moment ago, is quite compact actually. 44.2 millimeters, because it does have female end links to the center link, which really does help with the compact nature of the watch. And the proportions are very nice, and you'd have seen that on the wrist shot during the intro. The case back, as I've already alluded to, is screwed down. Excuse my fingerprints on there, guys, because they've decided to go for a part. Let me give it a wipe, actually. That's a bit too much. They've decided to go for high polished on the case back, which I'm never a big fan of. And I don't know if I'll be able to bring it up. See the little nick just down there? It came like that, unfortunately. That isn't one that the other couple little ones I've put there, that one came as is. But there you go, just Pagani Design 1723, just outlining what I've said and the usual stuff they put around the sides, and also just outlining the fact it's got a PT-5000 movement. The bezel was a high polished bezel, as I showed you a moment ago. No problem there really. And the crown is a reasonable size given the size of the watch, and it is screwed down also. No problems there either. The strap, as I already spoke to you about, also is the bracelet is nice. It tapers nicely. Brushing on top's done nicely. Polished at the sides, and it does have screw pins. Unlike their Longines Spirit Homage they did with push pins, this has got screw pins, which makes it very, very easy to change out. I had no issues doing that. And as I mentioned also as well, the clasp is partly milled. The outer shell on the clasp is pressed, but the inner two elements are milled, and it does have a safety latch that sort of helps just keep it in place. The crystal covering the dial is sapphire crystal, and that is a serious bit of sapphire crystal. I do like the distortion you get because of it on the edges. It looks really, really nice. I do like me a bit of sapphire crystal, as you will know by this point. The water resistance is also cited as being 200 meters, so that'll give you 20 atmospheres of water resistance. But as I've said before, I don't think they really test many watches on AliExpress. So yeah, but where it's well constructed, screw down crown, screw down case back, nicely seated crystal, I wouldn't mind getting this one wet. And the weight will appear in the top right hand corner. It's just below 120 grams with 3 links removed. With those 3 links back in, you're probably pushing about 130 grams ish. So yeah, nice proportions really, guys. The size is nice and compact, not too heavy, but enough weight that it feels reasonable quality. But let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in a bit more detail. So you have got a minute track going around the outer edge. At times it's quite difficult to see because of the crystal, but you can make it out. It's got a minute track. Inside there, everything is applied. You've got numerals at the 3, 6 and 9, inverted triangle, which is done nicely. At first I wasn't too sure about the triangle, but it's done nicely. And then you've got buttons everywhere else. Nice facets on them as well. Nice angular indices. Lots going on. Hopefully I picked that up on my macro at the start, because the indices and everything are done to a nice standard, finished nicely. There is also loom on this watch, guys, so I'll bring the loom up now. Yeah, okay, it probably could have been done a little bit better. I would have rather them go for no loom than loom that was not really good, to be honest. I don't like loom that is just average, which I would say this really is probably average loom. As you got the green second hand, again to a nod to the watch it's homage in. Nice gold everywhere really, and I do like the dial. I do like what they've done. It's gold on gold, but I do think the green second hand offers a bit of contrast from that, which is cool. And as I say, all applied. You've got the Pagani Design logo applied just below the inverted triangle, and just above the 6 you've got PT-5000, 200 meters equals 660 feet. Yeah, I would have rather the writing been done a bit differently down at the 6, but we'll talk about that just a moment. But that's the dial, guys. As I say, PT-5000 movement. There is a ghost position, unfortunately. So yeah, it is what it is. Take it all the way out though, it will hack. You put it back in, it will start back up again. Crown, no issue screwing it up. and hand winds, hacks, and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's the dial, guys. That's the movement. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist for your reference, and as you saw, I did take 3 links out, and I'm using the lowest level of micro adjustment. You'll just be able to make that out just there, and that's what it looks like on my wrist. Really do like the way this wears. Really nice. Very good effort by Pagani Design. Not perfect, as we'll talk about in a second, but yeah, I do think it's very nice. But that's then take me on now, guys. I won't keep you much longer, I promise. That will now take me on to what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. Let's give it a quick wipe. If you've ever watched the channel before, you know I always start with pants. I like to go on a high with pucker. So what I think is pants is, yeah, the writing is 6 is what I was alluding to before. I don't know why they put PT-5000 there. I would just much rather it say automatic 200 meters. Boom. Jobs are good. And what they've done with the logo at the 12 is fantastic. I think that's been long overdue. It makes it look so much cleaner. So I'm really happy what they've done with the logo, but what they've done with the writing at the 6, yeah, I just go for automatic instead of what movement they're using. The polished case back, as I said, yeah, I don't really like polished case back. They do scratch the buggery really quickly, and also did come with a scuff mark on there as well. So that was a little bit disappointing. As you can see, fingerprints galore already, even though I just wiped it. And finally, the clasp, the pressed element on the outer part, I would much rather them just gone for a fully milled clasp. This watch is really pushing on in price now to sort of San Martin money, so I'd like them to have offered a fully milled clasp. So it won't bother everyone. It's got 3 levels of micro adjustment, so it's fine. But yeah, I would have liked to seen a fully milled clasp. So just to surmise, what I think is pucker is I'd go with pants. I'd go with the writing at the 6. I'd go with the polished case back and the scuff mark on the case back, and the pressed outer shell on the clasp. What I think is pucker is the sapphire crystal all day long. I do love that sapphire crystal. I've had it on a couple of San Martins as well, where it's quite pronounced, domed like that, and it is beautiful. The dial and the handed indices, so it's all sort of combined with dial, as you can see in the handed indices. I think the handed indices are finished beautifully. Nice gold, nice sort of angles on there as well, which is really, really nice to see. The case size, a nice size dress watch, one that will be unisex because of the size, and one that wears really, really well on the wrist. The movement, okay, it has got a ghost position. The reason I'm mentioning the movement is it's the first time that some Pagani designer featured a high beat movement in one of their watches. So yeah, I thought I would give them a nod for that, to be honest. Hopefully in the future they do start going to movements with no ghost positions. That'd be good, but yeah, on this occasion I let them off. And the finishing, guys, generally the brushing and the polishing, there's been definite improvements in terms of it being a lot more cleaner. As you can see, my reflection on that bit of polishing at the sides, which you wouldn't always get on some, they'd be a bit blurrier, but this is finished really nicely, brushed done nicely. Yeah, not much to like, to be honest, much to like. So just to surmise what I think is pucker, is I'll go with the sapphire crystal, the dial, the hands and indices, the case size, the movement, and the finishing are what I think is pucker. And would I recommend the watch? I most definitely would. Maybe wait for the version 2 though. Hopefully they'll make a couple of changes, mainly with saying automatic down at the 6. I think that would look a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, and a lot of people would prefer that. It's not very often you get someone writing the movement on the dial. That's a bit strange. I know Seiko do it, but they do it so small at the bottom you can't read it, so it's very different. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this watch, guys. If the PT-5000 isn't for you, hopefully in the future they make quite a little change to the dial. But yeah, please let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.